Coming at you, straight back from the slaughterhouse. This is your latest episode of Rage Across the Internet, Werewolf the Apocalypse podcast. I'm your host, Porter. To my left, producer Joey.
Hey, guys.
To my right, Daniel Tyson. What's up?
Back again.
So,
how you doing?
Doing good.
What number slaughterhouse are we up to now? Like, I don't know, 8, 9. What are we at?
I see what you're doing.
You don't like it.
And I reject your hypothesis.
Do you replace it with your own?
Nope,
I reject your hypothesis. That's some Tarantino shit.
I reject your hypothesis.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Next.
best answer to...
Oh, it was hilarious. I missed
so yeah, you know that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Such a beautiful answer. It's one of my favorite behind-the-scenes Hollywood moments. Mm-hmm. I think the other one, I'm going to share this one real quick. It has nothing to do with Werewolf. I don't care. It's a good story.
We'll get back.
Yeah. If we didn't even start yet. Fuck. No, this was they were doing Batman Forever. Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee. Mm-hmm. Well, now, apparently, Tommy Lee Jones hates Jim Carrey. Mm-hmm. Just fucking hates the guy. And they're filming this movie. And, what a miserable experience this has to be, right?
Oh, God.
So, we've seen the movie. Come on.
Unfortunately.
So, anyway, it's after shooting one day, and there's Tommy Lee Jones and I guess his wife are going out to dinner. Mm-hmm. And they go to the restaurant. They're going to be seated. And, Jim Carrey's right the fuck over there. He's, 2 seats over.
Okay.
It's oh, God damn it. So, fine. Jim Carrey gets up and walks over to say hi. And try to give him the hug and all this. And Tommy Lee Jones just stonewalls him and he goes, I cannot sanction your buffoonery. That's amazing.
That is amazing.
I cannot sanction.
Oh my God. What the hell? What are we doing here?
I have to remember to use it at work.
Right?
Yeah. That's going to be used again.
That's just that's the best choice of words of all. Oh my God.
I love it.
And what do you do to that?
Oh, there's nothing.
No.
There's no comeback.
You just ponder.
I'd like to think that Jim Carrey just started crying.
That's kind of sad. In a pathetic way.
Okay, I was going to say, you got to remember the time, too.
Yeah.
I mean, Jim Carrey, it's been many, many years since then, but, back then, he was the guy who used to talk out of his butthole on national television.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to say he deserved it.
But there was buffoonery.
And it was not sanctioned. Tommy Lee Jones didn't sanction it.
Do you know what is sanctioned?
What
Almost. This podcast.
I'll sanction it.
All right.
Look at that. Back to it.
Down with the business.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Well, I guess the order of the day is Patreon.
Yes.
It's up.
It is up. We've talked about it. We had that donate button, and that was great, and we appreciate the donations that came in, but, we felt weird about it. We wanted to give a little something back. So now we have this bright, shiny Patreon, which, as of you hearing this is live.
Okay.
I believe that's correct. They better be correct, Jesus.
If it's not correct, somebody's
in trouble.
We're all fired. No one's sanctioning anything anymore. We're all fired. So there's the Patreon. It's 3 tiers, little bonuses, little something back at you guys. And obviously, as needed, it can be tweaked and, feedback's appreciated and whatnot. But, it's something we wanted to do to give something back for those of you who are kind enough to donate to help us do what we do.
Awesome.
So, that's just the long and the short of it. It's up. Check it out. Link is in, it'll be in our Discord.
Yes, and probably forums.
Assuredly in the forums, too.
Okay.
So, that detail will be available.
Okay.
That's all I got, frankly.
No, that's the business part.
Well, no. We've got other business.
What do you got?
We got to talk about this video game.
Pong?
Everyone loves Pong.
Frogger? No.
That too.
Earthblood.
Oh.
Wow, that's a response.
That is a response.
Cautiously optimistic.
I think that's where we're all headed, but, I don't know if we're all cautiously optimistic for the same reasons.
Well, I have, I'm getting looks, okay. I've made my jokes, I've made my comments, it's out there on the internet, I can't pretend I haven't. This is not the first time they've tried to make a werewolf game. It's not even the second. No one remembers the PlayStation game because it was like a real thing for roughly an hour and a half. There was one paragraph-long blurb in one video game magazine with one screenshot one time.
And
that
of course,
was it?
you remember it.
Of course I do, because how exciting is that of a Werewolf video game?
But I'm saying you and like 4 other people on the planet saw that.
Right, but it did exist.
Yeah,
So
sure.
that counts.
At one time.
And then Heart of Gaia, which was like 99% complete, and then the sky started falling.
Right,
And
right.
pulled.
You know, so that was an interesting one because, you know, those cutscenes. The game was like done. You can go on YouTube and find those cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, we did that at
We
one
watched
point,
it, yeah.
and that was really funny because the plot wasn't great, and they kept talking about Karen.
Yes, Karen.
They had to get the MacGuffin back to Karen, back to the Karen. I guess she was the leader of the Karens. I'm not sure.
Does she want to speak to the manager?
She might have been the manager.
Most assuredly.
It's like this weird Ouroboros thing where she's eating her own tail.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know. But, so, you know, I've made my jokes about I don't think this is going to exist. You know, the game went into pre-production in 2016, and we've seen nothing but concept art until this year.
Right.
So, you know, I've been very skeptical about its existence at all.
But we have seen more than just concept art. And
We have now.
Yeah, it's only recently have we seen this.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's a level of excitement, but
Yeah.
because it has been so long since even announced, that's where the cautiously optimistic part comes in.
You know, it's getting a lot of buzz. So
Which,
Definitely.
awesome.
And you know, well, here's the thing. You know, I mean, there's a few parts of this. I know there's been some criticism out there, and I get it. But I think one of the things that they've been criticized for is the lack of choice in character creation.
yeah.
And I think that's a little unfair.
No, I agree with you.
You know, I get that, you know, Bloodlines had some character creation. I get that Bloodlines 2 is apparently going to have some character creation. And that's great. But I think, you know, it's not a one-for-one vampire for werewolf.
No, it certainly doesn't.
And, you know, as a storyteller, I know that I can't tell. If you've got a story to tell, you've got a story to tell. And if the story to tell, it's about a Fianna around,
Then that's what it's about.
yeah.
Right.
You know, you can't.
Sub in a child of Gaia.
No, thank you. And you know, you go. Well, you could give us choices, and then you think about the practicality of that.
Yeah,
You
all
know.
the dialogue changes.
Yeah, all the 13 different tribes, dialogue changes. Mm-hmm. You know,
Attitudes of different players will change.
hey, let's talk about spirit interactions.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, you want to get even more specific, yeah.
let's hire voice actors to handle Stag and Unicorn and Fenris and Cockroach and
Everybody else.
for a game that you intended to be about the Fianna in the first place.
Right.
It's just I don't think it's realistic for a game with a story to tell.
And honestly, I think if it comes out and it's about a Fianna Akron, great, it came out. Let's
Yeah.
just enjoy that.
No, and I mean, like this thing, I think there's room for that, and I get the complaints, but that this isn't this game, so let's enjoy this story. Mm-hmm. You know, and get the game, support the game, so we can get more of them.
Yeah,
So we can
exactly.
so we can get a more maybe action oriented one that maybe isn't leaning on story as much per se, where you can make that get a Fenris or your Child of Gaia or your Black Fury. Mm-hmm. You know, and I will tell you this though. We're going to do a Let's Play of it.
Awesome.
You know, when
That should be entertaining.
yeah, by the time that comes out, you know, it's February.
Yeah.
You know, assuming there's no delays, it comes out in February. We'll have our YouTube channel up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been talking about it and being lazy about it for a while. Like we already have the channel, we just haven't done anything with it yet because lazy.
Because honestly, that's my fault.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's all of ours.
A lot of irons in the fire.
Exactly.
So, whatever. But we'll have that channel up and running proper by then. So I know I'm going to do a Let's Play. I know Tom wants in on that.
I'll be there.
All right.
I'll be miking you guys up, so.
So there you go.
And about it coming out in February, I think it's absolutely awesome because it'll make a great Valentine's Day gift. Like, I don't care if your significant other plays video games or not. Just get them a copy of it.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah, no, I support this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get flack for it. No one's making me sleep on a couch, okay? So yes, buy your significant other 2 copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd buy my significant other a copy of this game. She's just gonna laugh at me and probably divorce me.
Well, okay.
Well, she
I'm
does.
fine with that.
She does have her green card, so it's entirely possible.
Oh man. Do I get to tell her she's on the podcast now?
Thank you for walking into that.
Yeah, I figured. As soon as it left my mouth.
That was perfect.
From the bar. That's so great.
Okay, so
So yeah, they're look forward to that. I guess we're gonna do it. I don't see how we could not.
right, we've got to do it.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun.
No, it'll be fun no matter what.
Oh yeah, because even if the game is awful, which I hope, I sincerely do hope that the game is awesome.
No, we all want this game to be badass. Let's face it. Everybody, we want the best for this game.
Right.
But if the game is truly awful, we're still going to buy all the copies, and we're still going to play it, and it's going to be us having a blast. We're going to support it. That's all we can do.
No, that's
You're
true.
right.
That's happening.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Heard it's an Epic Game Store exclusive for the PC. That's not a smart idea though.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's very unpopular. But yeah, so that's that. There's definitely going to be the Let's Play. That's
got to happen.
Oh yeah, so that'll be. I mean, that's the future. That's what will be. This is what is, and what is today is a topic that I want to talk about. Bottom line, that's why this is what we do here.
What?
This is an interesting one. This one kind of blows my mind a little bit.
Which they're cool, and what it is the Lost Meta of Werewolf Revised of 3rd edition.
Yeah, and it does blow my mind when you stop and start diving into the layers, because
Layers of the onion.
levels of the onion.
All right, sorry. All right.
Man,
Failed attempt.
there was that whole meta that was released and revised,
yeah.
and they just wiped it out.
And that's the thing. And let's take a step back with that, okay? Mm-hmm. Because there's naming conventions, and there are things that not everybody knows. We know for a fact we have listeners who are newer to Werewolf,
Right.
or who are returning from. So look, we had 1st edition, great. You had 2nd edition, cool. Then you had Werewolf Revised, which is also known as 3rd edition because it was the 3rd edition. It's just how math works, right?
Yep.
1, 2.
Revised.
Revised.
Right, which is 3.
3.
You want to get extra confusing is the tribe books. The first set of tribe books were 2nd edition books.
Yes.
But the 2nd edition of tribe books were revised books, which makes them 3rd edition.
It gets tricky.
Which is why we're clarifying something real quick right there.
Yep.
But so you had revised, and that was it.
Clarifying.
And that ran its course up into Apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And then more years back that I'm sure I want to admit.
Don't go there.
I don't want to do that math, but the incomparable Rich Thomas over at Onyx Path, they brought us Werewolf 20, and the world was better.
Yes.
But when they did Werewolf 20, what are you going to do? The world ended.
Yeah.
The apocalypse happened.
The world ended.
Yeah. There's nothing. So what do? Is they said we're going to use the 2nd edition meta in a modern day setting. So what that did was that erased all of the Metaplot from 3rd edition. All of it's gone.
So you had me up until 3rd edition, because so use the 2nd edition stuff for modern day. That's cool.
Right.
Right.
That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, now that makes 3rd edition and revised
Same thing.
Yeah, it just cuts all of it out and pretends like it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
It didn't. It's retconned. Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's retconned.
But that's so much work, and that's so many stories. What do you do with all that?
Well, you didn't read the shit to begin with, so you do nothing. You win.
Good point. All right. I guess I don't gotta be here anymore.
See ya.
Take it easy, guys.
Thank you. Good night.
No, but I mean that's the thing is that there's a lot of meat there. Mm-hmm. Again, we point out that 3rd edition ran until the end.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
Actual apocalypse.
yeah. What was it, like 10 years, ish, in game time that
Some-
meta runs?
There was definitely a time jump.
What do they say? Is it 91 to 2000?
Something like that, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm reading it correctly, but
Well, that was the Shadow. That's something we're going to talk about for sure.
okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, you think about it. You open the comic in second edition, and it's the tale of Evan Heals the Past, the Lost Cub. The formation of the pack. Albrecht and Mari and Evan.
Yep.
And you open. There's not a comic in Revised. There's a story.
Yes.
With adult Evan running a new cub through the same jam.
Yes.
And it was cool. Like the art was beautiful. But you had this adult Evan, it felt cool. You're like, oh yeah, you got chills. Look at him, he's all grown up and he's a badass and just cool, man. And then now open Werewolf 20.
He's back to a kid again?
He's a kid again. I mean, he's a little older.
Okay, so he's
because some time has passed.
He's not an adult, but he's not a child.
Right. He's in his teens probably, but he's not all grown up because we're using that old meta.
So none of Evan Heals the Past story with Mari Albrecht, none of that happened.
Oh, Silver Crown happened. Mm-hmm. But this is where we get tricky, and this is the kind. That's why I want to have this episode,
right?
Because there's a lot of shit there, and some stuff it's like, well, that just has to be gone. Some stuff you look at and you go, well, maybe that can happen later. Some of it can't happen later.
Yes.
Some of it,
or maybe it happens in a totally different way now.
That's another question too.
Mm-hmm.
It poses some questions. It closes some doors. It opens some doors. It's interesting, I think. So let's fucking dive in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Forgot my tinfoil hat again.
Yeah, you're gonna need it on this episode.
You might.
Awesome. Everyone knows that.
You have and there's certain things like I guess we talked about Albrecht and his pack and all that. Mm-hmm. One of the bigger accomplishments of his, in fact, it went into the goddamn silver record apparently, was Jonas Albrecht, King Albrecht, taking down the seventh generation. And Joy, what is the seventh generation?
The seventh generation is bad guys who they tear a hole in a child's spirit and they implant a seed of the worm. So as that child grows, they become basically a worm creature.
Okay.
Oh, they're bad news bearers.
And it's largely done through diddling.
Yes.
Gross.
Yes. They're very, very good at like the question on my face.
Don't say good at diddling.
No, they're I can't even.
I just get a mental image of the old Frank Gorshin Riddler. Like from the Adam West Batman?
Yep.
But like in a flesh-colored suit instead.
Ew!
Diddle me this, Batman.
Gross.
Yeah, that's...
Is the diddler. I just got that image I had to share. You're all screwed. We're all going to hell now.
Yeah.
I'm taking you with me, God.
Yep.
I mean, we joke about the ice cream truck pedophile.
We do. We joke about that a lot, actually.
Way too much.
But, like, the seventh generation...
It's kind of their jam.
That's kind of their jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, at first I thought you were kidding, because, yeah, a lot of these metaplots, I have no clue. I'm just really starting to learn these. But, learning these, yeah. At first I thought it was a joke.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we tell jokes because that's what we like to do, but this is a for real
funny.
It was really a thing. And it still really is a thing in the world of darkness because they weren't exposed and taken down because of the Lost Meta of 3rd edition.
Oh, see? Look at
oh,
there we go.
Yes.
Already.
Yeah.
Yeah. See how, the child diddling ring is now still in full effect.
That said, it could not be.
But we don't know.
Exactly. And that's one of those things. This is one of those open-ended ones because there's no reason it couldn't have happened also. Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not explicitly addressed. And honestly, the amount of paper that they would have had to use to address all of these open-ended questions.
yeah, look.
Is that our whole nother book?
It could have been, frankly.
Yeah. It might even be 2 books.
I mean, I'm gonna pull years just directly out of my ass here. I'm not looking at proof or anything, but if I recall correctly, 3rd edition came out 99, 2000.
I don't know. I guess I could look it up later.
Yeah, we're certainly not going to look it up now.
Right,
But my
yeah.
point is, it was like, 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years worth of books.
Yeah. Yeah. Are just...
Completely wiped out.
We talked about in the Stargazers episode the whole thing with the Hengyoka and the Beast Courts. Shit
Right.
didn't happen now.
Yeah, I don't know none of that exists anymore.
So what happened to the Stargazers? I mean, they're still members of the nation.
Yeah, they just never left the nation.
Or did they?
I don't recall seeing that they did in Werewolf 20. And hey, we just did a Stargazers episode, so I feel pretty strongly that if that were mentioned in the Werewolf 20 write-up, that one of you two would have mentioned it.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying it's
I wasn't here
something...
for Stargazers. That was Tom.
Oh shit, that's right.
Was it?
It was, Tom.
Tom,
I
you're
can
on the
barely
chopping
tell
block
you two
now.
apart.
That's fairly easy if you know us.
But no, I'm saying it's one of those things you can golden rule.
You can golden rule anything.
Exactly.
I mean, look, at this point,
You know...
Look at all these stories that are completely retconned. You want to
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not even going to fucking talk about the golden rule.
They
right for this.
golden ruled everything with this.
They did. They took the banhammer and the nerf stick and they forged them together to make a super weapon,
Yeah.
the direct conizer,
I love that.
and they just went to town.
and spun around their head and whatever they hit.
They did. They did like a ninja
Yeah.
jack move, and look, and again, you can't blame them. You can't look at Rich Thomas and Ethan was involved with that. You can't
Yeah.
go Mr. Scott, because show your fucking respect, please.
Exactly.
You can't go, you can't mess with this. Well, number one, of course you can. But number two, where else are you going to take it?
No, I get why they did it. It blows my mind that it happened.
It's a lot of grounding. And again, some of it, there's no reason that Albrecht couldn't have still taken out the 7, exposed and taken out the 7 jet.
Right.
There's no reason that couldn't have happened. There's no reason that they couldn't have, the Geta Fenris couldn't have declared war on the Swords of Heimdall and taken down that faction, that fucking black mark on the tribe. There's no reason that couldn't have happened. That said, by erasing the canon, it didn't. But again, it still could have.
And honestly, I don't think that there is a corner of the game that it was left untouched by that huge eraser.
No, that's true, because it wasn't just, it was the whole world of darkness.
Yeah.
Werewolf didn't end once upon a time all those years ago.
No, the
world
world.
of darkness
Right.
ended.
Yeah.
You had Gehenna, you had the hell the mage version of it is.
Yeah.
You had I will assume the Oblivion, I guess Awakening. I would guess. Right?
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's not Vampire the Gehenna, so
Well, no.
I don't know from Mage Man. You guys are weird.
You know Werewolf. And because you know Werewolf, you've taught me Werewolf.
Yeah, this is the Werewolf podcast. I can't speak for mages, dude. Come on. But all of the lines ended is the point. So everything was affected. You want to talk about something though that I feel that couldn't have happened is Anthelios.
Ooh, I mean, the Eye of the Worm?
The Eye of the Worm.
Okay.
The red star that appeared in the umbral sky.
And then appeared in the realm.
And the ass end of things, yes.
So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, that ties into at least one of the apocalypse scenarios.
Yeah.
And I think that showed up in the ticker.
Yep.
And the ticker.
It did.
Let's take a second on that, by the way. Because there's a fun piece of trivia. Yeah, it is. I was going to bring that up. Is during the last year of the World of Darkness.
When you were a little bitty porter?
No, I was not a little bitty porter. Thank you. That was, yikes. Teenage Porter was in the HTML chats.
Yes.
From fucking Jump Street.
Right?
But years had passed, scarily enough.
We don't
Sorry.
like to acknowledge that.
Nah, it's really fucked up. No, the last year of the World of Darkness, they had the ticker. I think it was the Time of Judgment, but they were naming the years
Yes.
at that point. It was the Year of Reckoning and the Year of and so I get them confused now just by name.
It's the Alzheimer's.
It is. Thanks. It is it's the all-timers.
Old timers?
Sure.
Yes.
He was there because of After David.
Gotcha.
That's just radio for two at that point.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
the ticker.
Yeah, they had this fake news ticker that would come up and would give stories, that little blurbs that were happening around the world that were related to the end times. And they were little hunter. Here's a little thing about hunter. Here's a little vampire thing. Here's a little werewolf thing. Here's a little mage thing, maybe. But it's all disguised as regular news, something you'd watch in your local television.
Yep.
Most of it, anyway, not all of it. And it was
What
really
was the
cool.
rest of it? If it wasn't all of it, what was the rest of it?
More direct.
Okay.
And it was just a really cool thing. And of course, that's long gone now.
Except.
And this is the cool thing, is once upon a time, Passporter saved all those files. I just thought,
Why not?
yeah, and I saved them when they were, relevant, and Werewolf.com and all. And I recently put them on our forums. So if you're feeling nostalgic or are curious as to what it was because it was before your time, they're in the forums. So,
Cool.
Yeah, I remember when the Red Star news story popped up.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a phone call from one of my friends, who had seen it, who had seen the Red Star appearing news story.
Oh, okay.
And not the actual Red Star. No, they had
Telling us something we don't know?
Yeah, they had gone on the website and they had seen the story on the ticker.
Mm.
And they called me on the phone to tell me to go on the website and look at it. That's how big of a deal it was.
No, it was pretty sweet. But yeah, so I actually saved those files.
That's awesome.
It lives on. It's on our site, which is kind of what our deal was with the site to begin with. But that's shameless plug. Over. It's not really what I was trying to do.
So,
But the ticker was super cool, and he gave you,
yeah.
But Anthelios couldn't have happened. And the thing is other things happened because of Anthelios.
So all those can't happen either.
Right. Well, and there's a little cause of effect here. There's also effect and cause.
I want you to explain what Anthelios is.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
Yeah, just a small blurb for the newbies listening that don't.
For the Daniel Tysons who still have no clue, but it just sounds really cool.
I will.
Okay.
Let me.
I'll go back to my corner now.
Both ears. We changed your seating position too, so I'm fucking surrounded right now. No, Anthelios, also known as the Eye of the Worm, is a red star that showed up in the umbral sky at a very certain point, certain time, certain date, which I don't have in front of me because
It's not necessary.
No, it's not really.
Taking is for the week.
You got time for that. It was a busy week. You guys know damn well it was a busy week, but neither here nor there. But it appeared in the umbral sky. Only the umbral sky at first. And then obviously eventually, as the world went right to shit, and, it showed up in the realm. But once Anthelios showed up in the sky, the umbral sky, a few things happened. Mm-hmm. And this is how we know it couldn't have happened. And it also creates a question or two.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to bring up is, once Anthelios shone in the sky, there were no more Garu cubs born.
Yeah, 0.
It was the end of a new generation of Garu. That's it.
Damn.
Yep.
Because he was one final birth. Mm-hmm. See, it's 1 and 2 right here. And that was the Metis child.
Yes.
And when I say the Metis child, not a child that was a Metis, I mean, that's true. But it was the child of 2 Garu. It was a perfect Metis. This thing came out, it
Okay,
wasn't
that's where
supposed
that
to
story came
exist. It had no discernible deformity.
Yep.
And it was believed, this is out of Rage Across the Heavens, it was believed that this cub would be either the harbinger of the apocalypse or the savior of the apocalypse. And that was believed both ways on both sides of the fence.
Yeah. It depends on who you talk to,
Oh, man.
which story you get.
Right. And I mean, this was a book game. So it was, like here, you're in that scenario, you were the one with the cub, and, take, do you run? Here are the Garu who want to kill the kid, here are the ones who want to raise the kid, here are the hives that want to kill the kid, here are the hives that will be friendly to you because you've got the kid, and so they want to keep the kid safe,
Like, hey, you can hang out with spirals.
Yep, they'll protect you.
Yeah, they will protect you.
Because they want, again, your
They-
half and half, the harbinger or the savior.
Yeah, because the
Yep.
prophecy says that kid's going to help the worm win the apocalypse. And so we got to keep these Gaians are protecting the kids, so we got to help these Gaians.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
That is nuts.
I know, you know how I feel about book games, but it's a neat meta plot.
Yeah.
But
Again.
Garu are being born, and there isn't a perfect Metis, so we know Anthelios couldn't have risen.
Exactly.
Also, when Anthelios rose, so did the dead. Now zombies are a thing in the world of darkness.
Huh.
Guess what?
Not anymore. So you retcon zombies too.
Well, you know, it's the end times, the dead will rise. Well, the dead aren't rising. Not like that.
Yeah.
not like that.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's a difference between vampire undead and zombie undead.
Right. You know, people aren't crawling out of their graves. Guess what? Athelios isn't in the sky. But then there's the other part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe's excited. She knows this is coming.
Yeah, I see the excitement in your face, but I got more intrigued than anything.
Hunter the Reckoning.
Yeah. The game we all know, and I don't know anybody who played it.
I played a couple games.
Okay. So I lie. I do know somebody who played it.
I didn't enjoy it.
I remember
Likely
you saying if you want to
story.
be the bowling pins.
Yeah, that was how I phrased it, is I've never gone bowling and wanted to be the pins. I liked my character, but I did this thing where, you see Ghostbusters 2, yeah? Of course. Yeah, Bill Murray.
Okay.
Not Peter Venkman. Okay, I didn't rip off Peter, but I love the idea of that crappy local cable access show host.
Yeah.
You know, like Sightings, but like the rip off Kmart version of Sightings. You know, and that's who he was. He was the host of that show,
Okay.
and he was like high on his own bullshit. Like he read his own reviews and like, you know, so he's like, the spirits tell me he's just a total hack fraud. I really like the character.
Hey,
But,
why not?
But the game, like my character got his leg broken.
And
Yeah, like that's how you have to live for the next few months. You're in a wheelchair now. That's what it is. You're on pain pills in a wheelchair,
Physical therapy.
right? Like born, you know, it took us an hour to kill a Famor.
Oh my god.
There was like 6 of us playing.
True.
Oh my gosh.
It just, you know, I'm not. Man, maybe it was just bad storytelling. I would believe that.
Storytelling.
Reinvented the term.
I
We're
know,
going to use
that's why
it.
I'm laughing. I love it.
It's like friendsmanship. You invent the term, you use the term. And so it was probably just bad storytelling. I don't know. I'm willing to believe that, but it was a bad experience, and it was bad enough that I wouldn't. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Hunters, or the imbued as they are known in that world, got their powers.
When?
And Thelio showed up.
Oh, never mind.
So-
So you retcon the whole entire Hunter game then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It just doesn't exist.
Therefore, Hunter doesn't exist.
Wow. Well, shut that door too then.
Yeah. So it's amazing that, like, they wiped out an entire game. Mm-hmm. Oops.
Maybe they didn't like that game either.
Well, I mean, it wasn't about that. You know, it wasn't about the Hunter 20th anniversary, and I'm sure if that was something that they wanted to have happen, you can write around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You can come up with a different way for the imbued to happen.
absolutely. However,
Now you gotta retcon the retcon.
so again, the Lost Meta,
Yeah.
an entire fucking game line.
Just gone. And you know, if you want to play Hunter, go ahead and play it.
You know, no, that's fine. You know, maybe no, that wasn't why it was a coincidence,
Yeah.
and that's enough of an explanation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As long as you
But
can
it's-
write it fair.
It's quite a coincidence.
It's a heck of a coincidence.
Isn't that crazy? But so, you know, I mean, but that's just Anthelios.
Yeah. That's literally one small portion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this meta covers the entire world.
You know, well, hell, crack open A World of Rage. Mm-hmm. Which I always like that book. But that book is Metaplot all around the world.
Yep.
That's all that book is.
Yeah, so
So the
basically,
whole book is retcon too.
yeah.
Now, there's
Yeah.
some really neat shit in there.
But it's just gone. Just gone.
You know, they detail out the goings on behind the shadow curtain. Mm-hmm. And now there's a fucking question.
That story was pretty cool. I like that one. But yeah, again, you're retconning that entire thing, or what happens instead?
Well, you see, and that's the thing. Because timelines are tricky.
Especially in this damn game.
Right. And where do we draw the line between... We're in the world of the game, to be clear.
Okay.
Do we draw that line between 2nd and 3rd edition?
Yeah.
Because, again, 3rd edition showed up and they're older. There was the time jump. They didn't specify the year. I don't recall that being specified anywhere.
No.
So there is that time jump. So when is it? You know, Baba Yaga rose in, you know...
I believe that was 91 to or 99, 91, 99.
That was the Shadow Curtain.
That was the Shadow Curtain, yeah.
But I believe
Okay.
she rose in 89?
Okay. That maybe makes sense.
Yeah, I think something right around there, yeah.
And then, she didn't erect the curtain until 91.
Yeah. She had to, I guess, eat her Wheaties.
And find her 12 mages.
Yeah.
Am I right on that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 12 mages.
Yeah, she fucking wake up, have her coffee. It's crazy.
Some strong coffee.
But, so that
It's a
means...
strong hag.
Right. But that means the Shadow Curtain was erected under the auspices of 2nd edition.
Yeah.
Shadow Curtain is canon.
Yes.
But Baba Yaga's death happened in 98.
Right.
So is that canon?
No. Well, okay, see, I read the Silver Fang 2nd edition tri book.
Okay.
And they talk about Baba Yaga.
So-
They talk about the Shadow Curtain. And they talk about the king throwing people out of Russia and, like, basically banishing them to America. And these people, you know, Guru, had no idea why they were being banished. They were, like, just at a loss. And that was within days of the Shadow Curtain falling, you know, coming down and, you know, into place.
That was a super cool story, by the way.
And so it wasn't taken care of. It wasn't resolved in that book.
Right.
So in that book, the Shadow Curtain was still in effect.
And see, that helps. Because
Yeah.
did Baba Yaga die in 98?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what part of it is canon now? What part of it's retconned and what's not?
Right. You know, do we consider... I mean, what year is 3rd edition?
I don't know.
You know, Anthelios appeared, I believe it was 99.
Yeah.
So 99 is part of 3rd edition.
Right?
Is 98.
Yep.
Is Baba Yaga still alive?
Yeah, and
You know? I mean,
Yeah.
what... And if she is the Shadow Curtain
That's
still
what I
up?
was going to ask you. Is the Shadow Curtain still up?
and my thing is, like, are we just... I mean, is it possible to pull all that stuff forward in time? Because, you know, I mean, Baba Yaga still being alive and the Shadow Curtain still being in effect.
Probably means there's no Garu in Russia.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like, 1,000%.
Yeah.
And there's probably no kinfolk either.
Yeah.
Unless... And I mean, and I only say that because we don't really know what Baba Yaga's
It's just a
plan was.
speculation.
Yeah.
And, you know, and she did kind of have the window open for, you know, you can come join me. You
Right.
can come join me, my dearest. I don't know why she's the way... I don't know why she is part of Oz, but
Well-
now...
The hag, right?
Yeah, she's a hag, so, you know.
But you know, there was a window that was kind of left open, so maybe, largely probably, they're all dead.
I don't see any guru joining Baba Yaga
No,
and being like, hey, bestie.
I mean,
You could, though.
yeah, that'd be like, you know what? I need to stay alive, so I might as well stay alive by being on the side that's going to win.
Which is a cockroach move. I mean,
Okay.
no, cockroach is an opportunist. Screw you.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Yeah.
that. I'm not even having a go. That's just knowledge.
Right.
But no, I mean, some of that links to the tribe fall scenario in the Apocalypse book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, it's exactly what it sounds. You know, they list down what were to happen if every single tribe would fall in their fun new name. And, you know, details about all that. And, you know, maybe there's a partial tribe fall scenario that you could do for that. A partial version, you know, some weirdo hybrid. But yeah, there's a lot of questions. And can you do this in a modern day where the Shadow Curtain isn't up yet? I don't know that you can.
No.
Because it was such an interesting time with the collapse of the USSR and, you know, Russia, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a very specific time, and her power is tied to Russia, that I wouldn't know how to do that today without wiping out China, for example.
That's an interesting thought.
Just on a political stage.
Right, yeah, no.
I knew exactly where we were going with it.
Huh.
That's weird, but yeah.
Yeah, what do you do with it then? You know?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think the Baba Yaga Shadow Curtain meta can be a trap. I think it can really be a trap.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you can get so bogged down in the how do we details that I think it's best just to leave it alone.
See, I'm going to probably agree with you. I mean, you could make the argument that maybe it did happen as it happened, and Baba Yaga died in 98, and don't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
But I'm generally under the opinion that if you have to dive that deep into the moving parts of how to make something like that work,
it's probably not worth it.
Exactly, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. If you have to reinvent the wheel, don't.
Yeah. You're not going to do a better job, so stop.
Yeah.
Like, find another angle, find another take, get a new idea, whatever. But if you're at that point, yeah, you're probably screwed already. You know, and I mean, but Shadow Curtain, big deal. War of the Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
I like that one. Gogol thinks first.
Guy's a pimp.
We all love Gogo.
He's a warlord, right?
He is in the meta of 3rd edition.
Oh man, taking that away too.
Well, no, him being a badass doesn't change.
Oh yeah.
All right, good.
No.
In fact, him running the War of the Amazon doesn't change.
Okay.
The relationship with the Farah, the other shifters of the region, changes.
Didn't they run into him and breathe deeply?
They referenced him. I don't recall him being in it.
Okay.
But good call. Breathe deeply. That's a good story. What happened? Yeah. Jesus Christ. No, I like that story. It was
an awesome novel.
Good little peek at the Amazon.
Yeah.
You know, it was neat. So, yeah, the thing about that though, is, you know, Gogol, he shows up in the Amazon and he takes control of the Garu's battle there, the war front. And there was, you know, we work with the Bastet, we're not going to work, they're a problem, they're not a problem, they're a problem, they're not a problem. Well, 3rd edition is where they did team up, they were making it work.
Yeah.
An easy, a tenuous alliance, but they were making it work nonetheless.
Right.
And then he went missing.
Oh.
There was like all these assassination attempts, and then the latest one he never came back for.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Again, I know of Gogol Fangs first, and I know a little bit. I don't have time to read every single story there is. So, like, hearing what could possibly be the, you know, what's getting retconned and what's not is interesting. So, what happens?
So, I mean, if we take revised or 3rd edition out,
Right.
you know, is he down in the Amazon? Is he at home?
Well, he at the very least was,
Yeah.
because that's established.
Right.
Did he? That wouldn't end.
I mean, yeah, but like, so he didn't disappear.
Right.
So what happened to him?
Well, you make the argument that you make the argument that he's still down there running shit, or, and this is where I'm running this around to another thing, right? He puts Crick Rum Wrangler in charge.
Okay.
Which is neat, because
Yeah.
Crick Rum Wrangler's a little bit awesome, and also a Bone Gnawer's now in charge of the fucking Gar War from the Amazon, and
That's
What?
kind of cool.
yeah, exactly.
Sounds funny enough.
That's pretty neat.
That's pretty cool.
So, but what if that happens and he goes home? He goes back to Schwarzwald in the Black Forest. which is a cairn that in 3rd edition was getting fucking hammered.
I was just going to say.
And they hadn't lost yet, but give it a minute.
Right.
So at any moment, but
again,
he's going home.
That's 3rd edition. So were they getting hammered?
Maybe they were until Gogol Fangs first came back.
That's what, maybe he came back and saved it.
Maybe Torgus Firemane didn't die, so that Karen Jarlsdottir didn't take over his place and run that cairn, which would suck because Karen Jarlsdottir is pretty sweet.
Oh
too.
my goodness, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's kind of a badass. But maybe that happened.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I think it probably did, unless Torgus died of another means and she somehow gained prominence without the constant attack.
I was gonna say.
But see, it's murky again.
Yeah, reinventing the wheel.
Fuck.
So yeah, none of that happened.
Or all of it did.
You're not the boss of me.
Yeah,
Nobody's the boss of anybody right now.
yeah, right.
I mean, not in this mess.
We're all fired. Some of us were never hired in the first place.
I'd love to hear if some storytellers taken those and use their own ideas for it. I'd love to hear something like that.
That would be pretty cool. Excuse me.
Well, what was your decision on what happened?
I don't know that I have a...
Okay, maybe not you specifically.
Well, I don't know if there's a set of rules for it because there's so much of it. It's so vast.
Yeah.
But
Pick one.
Fuck.
Any storytellers out there, pick one and let us know. I'm curious.
Oh, okay. That's...
Yeah.
I thought he was doing that to all right.
Doing it to you.
Yeah.
Like,
A little bit, but do we have a lot more on this specifically as far as what's getting retconned and what's not?
I mean, honestly, if you start following the spaghetti plot, you get like a murder board scenario going. Like, figuring out what changed, what didn't.
Right.
And
to be clear, Werewolf 20 is not overly helpful with this.
No.
It really is just kind of a guess
Yeah.
situation. Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out, asshole.
Do whatever you want. Make it work.
Because again, some of this could have happened. Some of it...
Maybe didn't, but maybe did.
Right? And some of it just couldn't have.
Yeah. And I think you start with the stuff that just couldn't have.
And again, I look at Athelios.
And
by that, the Week of Nightmares.
That's true.
Completely, that huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
No ancient nothing is waking up because there's no end. It's not the end.
Yeah.
They're still sleeping. Can it happen later? Well, sure.
And I mean, I know that in that the elder vampires, the crazy, brutally strong ones were rising, and that wasn't fun for the guru.
Yeah, one more.
It's like, hey, by the way, I know the whole world's going to shit, but now you also have the elder vampires, the Gen 3s running around.
Right.
So, hey, how about that? So none of that happened, thank goodness.
Sounds scary enough.
Oh, yeah. It was scary for the vampires. So,
The rest of the world of darkness.
if the leeches are running scared from their own elders, maybe everyone else should be afraid too.
Yeah, that's nuts.
You frame it that way.
Yeah. So.
It's just there's Blacktooth the Hondi.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so he was rising to prominence in like the mid 80s.
Right.
So he's continuing on, and he gets taken out by the Ajaba girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In 3rd edition.
Right.
So is he still running around? Is he still a warlord out there?
That's the point. And the importance of that too is it's not just that. Because you got to keep in mind, it's the death of Blacktooth led to the Ahandi, which is that coalition down in Africa. Mm-hmm. Of shifters.
Yeah.
And Gar of the Pharaoh.
Right? Yeah.
So, what does this mean for that?
Do they not form that union? And
Exactly. And
That's
by
crazy.
the way, there's probably no Ajaba left.
Sad.
Because Well, that was one of his go-to moves, was to wipe out the Ajaba.
Okay.
Yeah, he had their Yara. Which one is it? You remember?
No, I don't remember.
I'm looking at Danny here. It's the separate the rules, the Bastet, the 9 tribes of Bastet.
Okay.
They each had their own.
They have like a weakness.
Yeah, that's the best way. Their weakness. There's like 3 of them for each one, but it's like a mystical. It's not like you drop your shoulder when you throw a punch kind of weakness.
No, it's like
if I pour bleach in your footprint and then add a little rosemary into it, your foot falls off.
I think there's one.
Okay.
Now I could be.
There's something similar, but I made the.
Oh yeah. But there's one that, like, if you pour like a line of salt, like the Bastet has to follow that no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, so you could literally pour a line of salt into a trap, and they have to walk into it. So it's messed up. But
Good thing we're not playing a Bastet game.
Well,
no.
look, at some point, you guys are going to make me talk about that, and I understand, but it's not going to be today.
I'm okay with that. If it doesn't ever happen, I'm probably okay with that too.
Man, it's an opinion.
This one's fun. Like, the werewolves are cool.
But they are.
Animals. Animals are cool. I've always liked animals, but like wolves are the best kind of animals. What?
She always got her hand raised.
Are Bastet and feline, animals not animals? I mean, you're.
I'm just saying they are cool, just not as cool as wolves.
Well, no, you said animals are cool. Therefore, I'm wondering if Bastet don't qualify under the animal category.
Well, of course they do. Why wouldn't they?
Okay.
But not as cool, is all I'm saying.
All right.
When you find yourself in a hole, stop digging.
I wasn't digging. I was looking for the ladder.
Great. So, we do have these metas that, you make that question. Or is it important that they happen or not? Is it relevant to your game? Is it something that can happen later?
I think that's a personal choice from storyteller to storyteller.
I think that's probably true, but it's on the surface. Again, if you look on the surface to where this was all retconned away,
Right.
to me that's fascinating.
Oh, it's extremely fascinating, and I think it's a lovely puzzle.
Oh, yeah, puzzle's a really good way to put that.
Probably, yeah.
And the people who are playing 20, I'd like to encourage them to research what metas got wiped out, because they probably played 3rd edition.
It's a fair assumption.
And what has changed in your, in your personal world.
Yeah, your homebrew canyon.
Yeah.
Homebrew canyon.
I knew what you meant.
That's the name of our new beer.
It's very hot in here. I'm just gonna blame it on that.
Blame it on the heat.
I'm gonna blame it on the rain too.
Yes.
Just yes.
Yep, yes.
Yes.
This is falling.
Okay, so before we all get heat stroke, is it time to wrap it up?
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, we got the Cubs corner, but unless
yes.
you have more on retcons.
Well, there's plenty to talk about, but
there is a ton,
and that's the problem. That's not. You can't do everything in a show.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that. I don't know.
So maybe we come back to this.
Maybe we do. Maybe we don't.
And maybe our listeners could drop us a line in the forum if they want us to cover a specific area.
Yeah, like if you want us to dig deep into something, let us know.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to take a few moments to talk about it because I think it was fascinating. And there that is.
Yeah.
But Danny's got a Cubs corner for us today.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Actually, this one came from Matt right from our forums.
Hey, excellent.
So thank you, Matt, for the question. It is, how do you roleplay lupus form interactions, and which form is your favorite and why?
Okay. Well, I think that second half we can all answer. So let's...
The favorite form?
Yeah, favorite form and why. Let's start over here with Danny. We can run counterclockwise, so it buys me a little bit of time for the rest of it.
I personally, I like the Hispo. I think being able to be a giant Sherman tank of a wolf is just awesome. But my problem now is with my character only having one arm. That's not easy to do anymore. But that's my favorite. That's my favorite form. I think it's really cool. Obviously, not very good at role playing it out, but just personally, that's my favorite.
Ooh, can you try when we finally get back into a game? Can you try? I just want to watch you fall on your face.
No, because you can just imagine that, and that's probably what will happen.
But I want to see it.
Just imagine. That's exactly what will happen. So I'm not gonna do it.
Okay, so my favorite form has to be the Krynos. You know, Gur Smash.
I imagine that's a lot of people's favorites.
Yeah, why not?
That's war.
Exactly.
It's the war form.
You know, I don't have to be. I don't have to be the super hip kid. I can be pretty basic, and I'm okay with that. So, what's your favorite form?
Well, I'm gonna have to steal from Joey here and go. It's also Krynos. It's that. Look, you pull into a game called Werewolf the Apocalypse. You're probably interested in playing the role of a werewolf. So
What?
right? So there's something about that form, and the image to me of running on all fours in Krynos is one of my favorite images.
It's really cool.
Right? So
put that in your head.
It is easily Krynos. If I had to pick a number 2, it would be Hispo, though.
Yeah.
So I totally get where you're coming from with that.
My number 2 would be Lupus.
Of course it would.
But just because you're low to the ground kind of thing? Or?
Yeah, low to the ground, easy to get in and out of places. Maybe that you shouldn't be. You can run fast. It's just.
I can't, but.
Well.
I'm milking it for whatever it's worth.
And, honestly, if you're going to play Werewolf the Apocalypse, play a werewolf. And if you can't do that, be the wolf.
Right.
So.
As for the rest of that question.
Oh, yeah.
Role playing the lupus part?
Yeah. And, Danny, I know you can't answer this question because you haven't. And I feel like you haven't either, Joey?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not a wolf. I am a human. So I know how to play Hamid.
Yeah, I would never. Well, I can't say never. I have not played a lupus-born character because of the disconnect.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it.
And I obviously have lupus NPCs, but I've never played a lupus character either. And you're not going to find anyone who's as different in my groups. In my groups, if you are new to the game, you are playing a Hamid.
Which makes the most sense.
Right. It's unfair to expect a brand new player to do the research to gain the knowledge that would be necessary for them to be a Metis.
Or a lupus.
Well, in the lupus is a different thing entirely because it's a change of mentality.
Right. Yeah.
And down the line after you could do this today and go, I want to play a lupus. Cool, but you kind of have to go through my trials, and they're not necessarily hard fast rules, but it involves discussion, it involves a little role play session here and there. Because the fact of the matter is, there was a time that if you wanted to cheat, you would be an Aharon, Stargazer, Lupus. Because they each started with 5 in Rage, Gnosis, and Willpower.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So it's like, if you want the extra fucking, just spend your freebie points. You're not going to play Lupus and then do it just like a regular dude, just because you wanted the extra points. That's not right.
No.
So it's things like how you deal with things, little fictional, little scenarios.
Yeah.
How
do you use a telephone?
Well, it's the thing that Lupus aren't stupid.
No.
And they learn and they adapt, but they also they're more quiet.
They don't have the opposable thumbs.
Yes, they do. It's called a Hamid form. It's called Glabro form.
But in lupus form, I think, is kind of the question here.
Sure, but you're living your life. You can't always be in Lupus. I mean, Red Talon's notwithstanding. And even then, they switch forms.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just part of being Garu.
But it's a different mindset.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, completely different.
You know, if I hear, you know, maybe you're giving me a character write-up as part of your audition.
Okay.
We're using that term loosely, but audition. You know, and it's a character write-up, and at any point you say something like, "Oh, I see eye to eye with him." That's, for me, that's a whammy. Because
Strike one.
Like, you better be referencing, we were standing and I could, like, you know, like on even ground and like our eyes were lined up. Like, that's what that better mean.
But, you know, but that's the thing, because why are you sight is not the primary sense for a wolf.
No.
So why are you seeing eye to eye?
You're not, I mean, wolves do see.
Right. But that's not...
But their primary sense is smell.
Right. So I would expect more olfactory metaphors.
Right. And the
rather than audio.
And the eye-to-eye thing,
based. Sorry.
I think that would be either a threat or an insult.
Right.
Because of hierarchy and dominance.
Oh, yeah. And to role play that, you got to remember, you're a wolf. You are a lot lower to the ground than a human is. Your sight is, you don't have the color vision that a human does.
Exactly.
What is it? Is it Changing Ways? That book.
Yeah, Changing Ways has
there's a little, you know, we'll call it a little blurb in there that kind of gives you a tiny little insight for each of those forms on what you're supposed to do. You know, glabro, your fingers are kind of all curled in while your wrists are bent inward. You don't have that dexterity of your hands like you do from normal Hamid. Lupus, you're really low to the ground.
Exactly.
That's where your vision is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, you know, Krynos being your 10-foot murder machine, so you're a giant monster. And yes, that's cool, but I think that's kind of where that's where I head, at least.
No, I agree, and that's the thing. You know, if you want to play in my game, you kind of have to pass those tests to prove to me that you can use that mentality, and you're not just in it for free points.
Right.
You know, and it is those things. It's a change in how you think, and that's not easy to do.
No, not even a little bit.
But if you're gonna play it, you have to play it.
Yeah, I would say it's not easy to do, and it's harder to maintain.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, you can at that point have the benefit of the character's growth, making that transition easier, provided that human culture is something that the Lupus Guard doesn't fucking... They have to embrace it.
Yeah.
It can't be like, oh, well, I'm rank 3, so now I'm going to go to the Grateful Dead show, even though I'm Lupus and hate everything I just said. and it means more than just being in Lupus all the time.
Right, yeah.
You know, you are going to be quiet. You're going to use few words, and, you know, you're going to use those, you know, auditory or olfactory-based, you know... That's going to be your primary focus for how you see things. Again, you don't see why would you see eye to eye? That's not how you normally do business.
Yeah, you're going to use body language.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, so I think that's about that. I hope that's a real answer.
Yeah, and again, Matt, thanks for the question, man. It was awesome.
No, we definitely appreciate it. You know, keep those coming.
Yeah.
I think, though, in the meantime, we're to take off. We're going to get out of this hot box. I know that's for goddamn sure.
Maybe go find an ice cream truck.
Yikes.
Back to that.
Well, I'm an adult, so I have nothing to fear. If you like what you heard or you somehow didn't, be sure to let us know. You can do that in our Discord. You can get us up on the forums. I mean, there's the various social media too, but we prefer the forums of the Discord, I think.
Yeah.
Emails.
Yeah, email. Rage Across as the Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Rage Across the Internet is the Facebook, but again, you know...
Well, just go to the forums or the Discord.
Yeah, just do that. That's the better one.
That's easier.
You know, you can always support us through the Patreon. You can do the Amazon if you don't want to spend any money. But remember, you get some cool shit back for the Patreon. Hopefully stuff you'll enjoy. And if you don't, let us hear about it so we can tweak that too.
Exactly.
You know, see, by now, I think we've probably... Well, we don't have the contest ready yet.
No.
No,
No.
but it's
It's
in the
very
works.
close.
Yeah, it's close.
We'll let you know when we get it.
Yeah. But, you know, we got that. We got the merch design thing very soon. So just keep your ear out of the ground.
Keep your eye to the ground.
Keep your eye to the ground. See, not your ear. Because the lupus, you can hear it just fine. You don't need to keep your ear to the ground. Keep your eye to the ground because your eyesight sucks. Yeah.
I like how you
Nice.
walk that back around.
I fucking saved it.
Yeah, that was a good save. Good save.
And I'm gonna take that bare ass win and go home. You guys take care of each other. We'll talk to you next week. We'll see you.
Rage Across the Internet's music is It's Into the Fog by Darren Curtis, shared with a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 unported license. For details, check out the information under the podcast.